Hi guys, I am working and playing with some stamps and some mixed media today. I've sped up the video a little bit and doing a voiceover, and that's just how it's happening here at Graham's house. Welcome to my channel. This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media. Glad you could come hang out with us today. So I'm just playing with some stamps today, and right now in this part I'm using some distress inks and doing the butterfly of the distress inks and then just adding some water just to spread the color out. And there'll be a lot of that. That's just basically what this part is. I was going to add some music, but I don't have enough music to fill 28 minutes, without it just being repetitive. So I thought I'd just go ahead and do a voiceover because I can come in the quiet part of the house and do that for a little bit, I think. Here I did a few different colors, just I think some yellow and some of the festive berries and the rusty hinge. So I made it to Massachusetts and having a nice time, enjoying time with my grandma. And I got to see my cousin yesterday. She came over to drop off Graham's meds, and I had a good birthday, just relaxed. And I did get to go to a couple antique store. Did I go to one or two? I forget. But, I got to get out of the house because Graham's cousin came and visited her for a little bit. Or maybe it's my dad's cousin. I'm not sure. I haven't figured out how all that works. Genealogy. It's not my thing. But anyway. But she used to teach in the school where I went to when I was younger. So I always liked seeing her at school and knowing, oh, I know that lady. I'm related to her. And it just made me feel good to see her in school. That was back in elementary school. So yeah. It's been a good week. The drive up was not so fun. I think I mentioned that I did. I mentioned that in the last video. Oh, on this one there was like a little thing of water already on the paper, and I just stamped right onto that to give it a loose watercolor feel, I suppose. And I'm just trying to keep the stamps with the butterflies so I remember which butterfly goes with which stamp. So yeah, I could have just fast forwarded through this. This is just a lot of the same thing over and over again. I don't know. Hopefully it's not too boring. I hope not. Gosh, I don't know. I'm usually more relaxed when I'm actually like just kind of free flow talking while I create. But Graham was watching the rest of her show last night that she fell asleep during. So yeah. Oh, now I'm gonna do the overlay. I'm gonna Yep, now you get to just kind of line those up. That's one nice thing about using the clear acrylic blocks with the stamps is you can get close enough to be able to do this. And I didn't need it to be perfect because I'm going to be cutting them out. And then I went and got a book page because the middle of that stamp did not stamp very well. This one didn't either, so I don't know what the issue was. Excuse me. So it is quiet here. My aunt has a dog who is a little skittish. She was a rescue. She was she was bred. She was a breeding dog, but not like, yeah, I don't know if it was puppy mill breeding or just the only time she was ever in the house is when she was feeding babies. So it was not the best life for her. So she's living her retirement years in a spoiled little environment, which I love for her. But she's a little skittish. She won't let me pick her up. But she wants me to be in the room with her. She's just funny. Every time I get up out of my chair, she gets up and runs to the other side of the, room away or whatever to see what I'm going to do. But she's at least sleeping now. We did a little trial run the last time I was here, and my aunt went away for one night, and Sweetie that's the name of the dog, she just couldn't relax. But this time, Barb, packed a whole suitcase because, it was a whole week. And she's visiting her sister down in Virginia Beach. They went to a scrapbooking thing. They've been having a lot of fun. And so this time, Sweetie is more relaxed. She's not pacing as much. She's sleeping during the day on the chair with us. But But she does like for Graham and I, or at least me. She doesn't always care if Graham's in there or not. So for a dog that acts like she doesn't like me, she sure does act like she likes me. She's silly. And then sometimes I don't know if she scratches at the chair or what, but she comes up and her hair is all flopped over her face. She's just so cute. Oh shoot, I don't know what kind of dog she is. She's a little white dog, and she's super adorable. So now I am just stamping all the butterflies twice because I'm gonna do some colored pencil and some Derwent Inktense pencils on each one, because I just kind of wanted to see, what kind of results I'd get with that. So yeah, this is almost like 2 videos in one, because the next things I do with stamps and the mixed media bits are kind of a whole different. I could have made them into 2 videos, I suppose, but I didn't. So you get an extra long video. That's why I sped it up. I can only talk for so long. Oh, I can't imagine if I was trying to talk for a whole hour. Let's see what else has been going on. Not much. I went to, oh yeah, I did get a little bit of video at the well, it depends where you look on Google, but it comes up as a thrift store and it comes up as an antique store. It's not your average antiques in Plymouth. Is where I went. And they had one section that had a whole bunch of ephemera, but it was expensive. But the last time I was there, I didn't see any ephemera. So at least, I was like, okay, well, that's cool. They've got ephemera. And I only did a little tiny bit of video. Just showed a few things. Seems to be a lot of old toy cash registers. There were several of those there. Must have been a popular thing around here. But I'll try to do something, like if I go to another antique store, I'll try to get a little more video, and then I'll put all those together for a video for that. Alright, so I'm using the Prismacolor pencils. I was trying to add a little water. It would have been better if I had like a blending brush, maybe my Gamsol oil or something. I was just trying to get it to look a little less like pencil, and then just kind of rubbed it in. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. And it got a little color around it, but that didn't matter either because I was going to cut them out. So no biggie. No biggie whatsoever. So yeah, how are you guys doing? I know some people ask how you're doing. I like to know. I mean, totally tell me in the comments what's up, what you're doing, what's taking up your time, what's making you happy. You having any struggles? Do you need me to pray for you? All the things. I really appreciate when you guys comment. I enjoy reading the comments and everything. And I never get messages except when I'm trying to do a voiceover. Oh my goodness. Yeah, at least I can pause more easily when I have to cough. I just realized that. So that's good. Yeah, I still have that cough left over from when I was sick a month or so ago. I don't know how long it was. It was right before I started working on the craft room, right? I don't know. Someday I'm going to finish that. It's better. I mean, I was able to easily find what I wanted to take. Like, I was discouraged because I was like, I wish I had gotten more done. But then, one of y'all commented and said, you did all that work in your craft room, and now you're able to easily find what you want to take when you go away. And I was like, well, yeah, that is true. Thank you for pointing that out. I really appreciate that. Appreciate all the encouragement and the supportive comments. You guys are just so great. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. Let's see. Have you guys watched anybody lately that's interesting? What's funny is in the second part of this video, I do like some watercolor backgrounds, and then right after that, I went on YouTube and watched some videos, and there's Crafty Cat doing some watercolor videos, so go check her out. Watercolor backgrounds. Oh my goodness. Some little mixed media watercolor business card type size bits she was making. So yeah, definitely go check out Amy, Crafty Cat. I think her YouTube channel is Crafty Cat. And then I didn't get my Margaret Miller challenge done this week, but I'll do both next week probably. But I got a nice shout out, not shout out, but Marlene mentioned me in her description box saying she enjoys watching me, so go check her out. She's Mimi's keepsakes. Yeah, that's who she is. So who else should you go watch? Well, who else do you watch? I need some new people to watch. I mean, I like my old people. I mean, not that I can keep up with the people I watch. Because there's Eddie Makes Art and Quirky Queens. They just did a couple gel plate videos using the IMPPs, or imperfectly perfect stencils, that Mariah sends them from PM Artist Studio. And sorry, you hear the creaking of the bed. I'm in the bedroom. It's a quiet room. So now, oh yeah, now I'm on to the Derwents. When you see the second butterflies, those are the Derwents inktense, which are a little more vibrant and kind of fun to use. I really like using those. I like them better than the colored pencil. But for like, if I still want the details to show like on the body of the butterfly, but I still want it to be kind of dark, then using there's probably like a gray, Payne's gray or charcoal gray or something in the watercolor. Not watercolor. The Prismacolor, the colored pencils. I like that for the body, so I could still see detail but have it be dark. And if I had brought my stamping platform, would have probably had better outcomes. These all didn't come out perfectly perfect, but that's okay. We're not going for perfection, and I could always go over them with some fine line markers if I wanted to. Don't know if I want to or not. If so, I'll do that off camera. I've got some more things I want to do this week, some ideas that I've had, that I've, since I've been working on my craft room, I haven't been able to do much. So these are good for me to do. And don't worry, I don't cut them out on camera. I kind of show where I start to cut, because I thought this was going to be put to music, and then kind of, there we go, see? Now I'm going to, but this one I did show how I kind of wanted to tear it out and have just kind of the background. The butterfly on the background is what this one is all about. So, yep, this little butterfly, that was just where I had, I wanted a little more blue and just had used the little distress ink over the side. And then here they all are, all with their, I couldn't tell you which is which, but they came out pretty good. I mean, some of them could use a little more detail, but they'll be fun to use on some ephemera or in journal pages, or even on a tab or a cluster. They'll be great so those are, ways to use these. So if you've got butterfly stamps and colored pencils or watercolor or marker or whatever, or even just the ink, the distress inks, that was actually kind of one of my favorite ways to do it. And so here, I've moved on to some tags. Just keep playing with some stamps and some mixed media. I'll be moving on to watercolor now, I think. Yeah. Just keep getting that line when I use those stamps sometimes. So most of the watercolors in this palette, this messy palette, are Core watercolors, which is QOR, and they are made by Golden. And one thing I love about them is, you'll see in a little bit, is just the granulation that you get from them. And of course, they always dry a lot lighter than they go on. So as they dry, they'll get lighter. But I just kind of wanted a little wash of a background on that. So I did that with the watercolor. And now I'm coming in with the Derwent inktense pencils. They're expensive. You don't have to have them. You can live without them. You could use markers, watercolor, anything you have on hand. But I do love them. I just don't use them as much as I think I want to. So yep, just coloring the iris, adding a little violet. Oh, now we can hear Tom tell us a story. Tom's working downstairs. I'll see. Last time I was here, he was he had the walls down and putting up new drywall and the sink and everything in the laundry room, the utility room, whatever you're going to call it, because they had some mold and stuff, so they had to replace the walls. And then he's been on vacation, so now he's back and he's finishing the sink, and he had made a cabinet to go, or something. He used whatever leftovers he had to put something between the washer and the dryer, because he was noticing, like, socks and whatnot falling in there, and it's a hard place to get things. So Graham and Barb like using him. He takes his time, comes in when he can or whatever, and so, it's hard for him to get jobs because he's not like real fast or anything, but he does a good job. He's kind of a perfectionist too. So that I just stamped yellow and then stamped black on the butterfly. I didn't even wet it or anything. And then I made a really, really deep cut for the tag. A little deeper than I intended. And so yeah, I'll fix that. I'll come in and cut across the top, crooked, and then I'll try to fix it. Oh my goodness. I did not bring a cutter with me, but I'm sure my aunt has at least one around here. So if I want to straighten those out, I can pretty easily. Just nipped off the corners of that. So that was the first one I did, inking up the edges. I mean, it's nice with the white, but I know it's not going to stay white, and I think that's kind of why I was like, oh, just ink up the edges. So that one's just really simple, just, you know, coloring in the watercolor. Oh, I did add I did unsimplify it. I added a little bit of script in the post cancellation stamp there and whatnot. But that was kind of just part of it, was to disguise the black lines from the stamping. And I think that's it. That's how that one came out. And then we've got some more. I do a bunch of backgrounds now, I think. See, now would be a good time to just have some music to go through the backgrounds. Alright, so I'm just putting some water down on the paper. And then I'm taking some of those core watercolors. See the granulation you get? Like, it does these really cool things. That's the blue and the green especially, more than any of the other colors. Really get some. And then I splattered some. And set that over to dry. And you'll see how dark it was there. It'll be a lot lighter. Because that's what watercolor does. It dries lighter. It goes on darker and then dries lighter. That's how it's working. I think I've got... trying to do some... just kind of a reddish color, and then I think I add some... but see, it doesn't granulate quite as fast and as cool as the blue does. But it still does some granulation. And a little splatter. Trying not to splatter too far because I don't want to get it on the tablecloth. I've got stuff kind of blocking the tablecloth. Because I moved the table, it's a pull-out. And when it's pushed in, I can't get my vise for my camera holder in there. So I had to pull out the end just to be able to fit that. Alright, I just put some ink, rubbed it on that acrylic block. If I had my spray bottle, I would have used that, but I didn't, so I'm using the brush, so it didn't come out quite how I'd like, but, you know, I make it work. No big deal. Just, I was trying to get some, I don't know what I was trying to do, but it ends up the way it ends up. Actually, it didn't end up too bad in the end, because I tried some other things. So now I just put some more ink on there, use a wet brush, and splattered some splatters. Now it looks like it has the measles. You just rewound to see what I was talking about, didn't you? Let's see, this one. Oh, I just took the little distress ink and just pressed lightly all over it and then wet it. But there was like some other... oh, and then I just stuck that on there too. Like, okay, splattered it. But in the end, you'll see there's like more color because I just took whatever was left on that acrylic block and just made a mess with it. Oh, I don't know. At some point, I think I realized the camera's a little... I don't know. I had to remember to check the camera more. I don't know if it moves or what, but I could have sworn I was in camera the whole time. And now I'm watching this and I'm like, nope, you were not in camera the whole time, lady. But that's so fun to watch. Oh, man, you're missing half of it. So, yep, I just gotten the whole thing wet and just trying to add to it and just getting a lot of variation with just one color, which is fun. I think I was trying to get the whole thing covered. I don't know why. Just kind of move it around, have fun with it. And, of course, more splatters. Because why not? Put that one away to the side to dry. I had cut these. Okay, so the pieces I'm using now are mixed media. And they're like, is it Bristol? I don't know, whatever the brown cover is for the mixed media paper. And it was a really big pieces, so I just cut them down. And then I also have my tag top thing, and so I cut those. That one I think came out a little crooked. I might want to, or was it one of them? One of them didn't come out quite right. So do some magenta and some violet here, and just getting it all mixed in there. I'm really sorry this is so far off camera. What the heck? It's annoying me. I annoy myself. I'm not redoing these. I think I was trying to do a little bit of highlight in there, but oh well. It worked out alright in the end. Lady, would you please check the camera? Make sure it's... Oh, I went a little crazy with the violet there. Try to adjust my... I think I ended up covering the whole thing. I was like, I got too much paint on here. Or maybe I did. I don't know. I think I did cover the whole thing. We'll see in a minute. Time will tell. Yep. I think that's when the decision was made. I was like, nope, too much. We'll start over. Sometimes that's a look. You might want like a nice... Okay, so now I'm just wetting it with water again and adding color again, because subtle apparently is not my thing today. And of course my paints are right up there, so my arm goes right up in the camera. Hey, at least we could see this whole thing. Oh my god, you could leave some white, lady. It's okay to leave a little white now and then. You don't have to cover every square centimeter of everything. I was trying to get some stuff happening at the bottom with that violet or whatever it is. It's probably the purple and more magenta, because why not? It's probably quinacridone magenta. I don't know. It's the whatever the course. I have the earth colors, and then I have... I don't remember what the other colors were. I don't buy individual colors. I buy the packs, and they come in tubes, and then you have to put them in a little thing and let them dry. And so yeah, that's fun. All right, cleaning my area. I know it's not something I do a whole lot. All right, that one's almost dry enough, but it makes a fun background for a stamp. Is why I did these, as you'll see. So, you know, you just kind of make some fun backgrounds and just stamp something on them. Although, you know, I don't just stamp on them. I have to go further, don't I? This one, the first one, the blue one, I do. I just add the little, oh, what was that one called? Allium? Or something like that. They're not dandelions. They look like dandelions, but they're not. And my stamps are, like, stuck together so that I can put them on a block easily. But I didn't bring my tall block, so... I just used them that way. So that was kind of cool look. There you go. Make a normal size tag corners this time. So yeah, that's kind of a cool, just simple tag. And it would have been pretty just to leave it white, but no. Oh, I was using the blue around the edge. And but I don't have all my things, so I don't have a sponge for blue, and I didn't want to use... I only have the one ink dauber. So I was trying to figure out how to do that, but it was a little messy, so I ended up just using brown around the edge again anyway. See, on this one, what do I end up... Oh, I do the butterfly, I guess, is what I do. It could use something at the bottom, though. I'd probably say that at the end. So, but yeah, see, just a stamp with a watercolor background is a fun... And these I had to wait for them to dry because I didn't bring my heat gun either or anything to dry. So, you know, that one came out. You see, it is lighter, but it's got a lot of interest in that background there. What did I end up using? Oh, I think I know what I did with that one. You'll see in a minute. See, I'm looking for just the perfect thing because, you know, can't just put anything on there. It's got to be the... Okay. This is the other one that had the multicolors on it. So I had paused and looked through my stamps. So this is a stamp that came with like the 3 dragonfly stamps I have from Vision something. Anyway, I put some distress ink on there, and then I wet it with the brush with just some water. So it's going to give me a more watercolory effect, I guess. Even though that is kind of what the stamp does anyway. It's kind of a splattery circle, but adding the water, just, you know, plus there were some... This one had the distress ink, so it ended up looking cool in the end. And I think the color I used on that one was the green. So now I'm trying again. That one had like some old white on there, but didn't really show. So that was pointless. So now I try again. This time I'll use the, was it picked raspberry, picked berries, raspberry something. It's a bright pink. Oh, this is Distress ink that I'll use on. I'll add some water because I don't have my spray bottle, so I use my brush. See, use what you got. Can't always use all the things all the time. And then I just kind of, I think I was letting the water run, I don't know. But it almost looks like flowers. It was just something to add to the background. But it did end up kind of looking like flowers. And there's another one that came with the dragonflies that has kind of a, so I did again the Distress ink, add a little water. Oh, this one I did the green. Shabby, not shabby shutters, peeled paint is what this one is. And of course the background there is watercolor, because that was the core watercolors. Oh, I do end up using him. I don't have any labels or anything right now, so I need to make some. I think I say that in the end bit, but yeah. Grandma's watching Collision during this, so that's really not what something we want in the background, is it? Oh, I used the dragonfly on that one. That one actually didn't need it. That was kind of nice, just how it was. I liked it. And here's our purple, not my colors I usually use. Oh, we'll go to the lighter one. That's the one where I had taken some of it off to kind of give it a highlight kind of a thing. All right, so I did the ground espresso, added a little bit of water, and, you know, was afraid of messing it up, so I just did the paper on the stamp. Since I don't need it perfect, it's more of I want it straight is why I did it that way. Because it's hard to get that stamp straight. So I did it like that to get the damask design on there with the distress background, which I thought came out kind of cool. Back to this butterfly. What am I going to do with it? I don't know if I did anything with it. Oh, no, I added way too many words. That's what I did to it. Oh, hindsight, hindsight. Where were you then? I might cut off some of the bottom of that. Also, I did the words upside down. I was wondering if I did them upside down, and now I'm seeing me do it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I did the words upside down. But it's background, so it doesn't matter. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just keep telling yourself that. Oh, I've told a couple people in either like email or comment, but my new mantra right now is I can do more with less. That's how I'm getting through my craft room declutter, is just keep reminding myself I can do more with less. And kind of like when I go to the antique store too, I'm like, I don't need all the things. I'm actually looking for like specific things, more like for storage. Although I did find some office stamps yesterday, but they weren't quite as good as I'd hoped. And here are the tags that I made. They're a little bit off camera, but like these little bits were just, what stamp? One of this, oh, this stamp with some picked raspberries, I think. And then there's that one. That one's exactly the same size, so I almost didn't see it. I might put a label down here, but I don't have any labels right here, right now. But I can make some, because that's why I brought my label stamps. Oh, and this one. And that's what this one looks like with the wet doily on there. Almost looks like flowers. So I will probably add a butterfly to that. Yep, so there's that one with a butterfly, and then when I find labels or make some labels, I put those down there. And I'll probably ink it and do the corners or something. Oh, maybe I'll do the, I did bring my punch. Where'd it go? So yeah, European punch, I like that. And then I'll put something down here, like a word or something, but I didn't bring any made words, so those ones I'll have to do. And then I've got these butterflies I made at the beginning of the video, and that I already showed. So I hope you all have a delightful day. Love you.